The striking thing about the portraits at the end of the exhibition is that they manifest that no artist has the power or the strength to control meaning, that meaning is necessarily a product of the viewer. And no artist knows this better than a queer artist who understands the degree in walking simply in public, that whatever meanings one may have about oneself pale in comparison to the way others structure you, call you out, label you, name you. So queer artists come to understand in a very poignant way, as I think do all minorities, the way you cannot control your own significance. And so these artists are well aware of the degree to which significance, even soul, is not a process of the artist's expression, but of the audience's recognition and cognition. In the work behind me, Andy Warhol's magisterial self-portrait, we see the artist speak to this by placing himself in camouflage. In his book, The Diary of Andy Warhol, and especially in A to B and Back Again, Warhol manifests a self built exclusively out of what others say about him. In The Diary of Andy Warhol, he marshals a set of terms to describe his appearance that we now know were derived from journalistic accounts of him, how he had been described by others. He says in that same book, famously, "When a mirror looks into a mirror, what is there to see?" And so, at the moment, at the end of Warhol's life, this is just a few months before his death, when we would expect finally for him to drop that Warhol mask and to show us something deep and essential about himself, Warhol pointedly refuses, giving us a portrait of himself in his famous trademark wig as if to say, "I'm all surface. I'm only what you project. There is no Warhol behind it." And we can see that as well in Jack Pearson's so-called self-portraits, where he actually draws images of a number of different figures, all of which he labels a self-portrait. They're canonical types of gay portraiture, media images of, generally speaking, attractive young men in modeling poses. And the point Pearson wants to make is that even when I claim self-portraiture, your image of me is necessarily a product of all the different ways that gayness has been represented to you. You can't approach me nakedly. You understand me only as the media, advertising, and other public forms make clear what gayness looks like. We see it as well in Glenn Ligon's slave portrait, runaway slave portrait, in which he asks a number of his friends to describe him. And they have notably, markedly different descriptions of who he is and what he looks like, his character, his appearance. And then in a series of these runaway slave posters, he writes verbatim what they say about him. And we come again to realize how powerfully portraiture cannot be a product of the artist's control, but rather the viewer's. And no picture makes that clearer, I think, than this Warhol.